What are you doing in my room? Where's Michael?
Hey guys, we just saw Day Shift on Netflix.
That's right, everybody. Is this shift worth clocking in for? Stick around, 'cause we're about to find out.
All right, Billy, who's in this Netflix vampire adventure movie?
Adventure. I don't know if I'd call it an adventure, but all right, man. We got some Jamie Foxx as Bud Jablonski. Yeah, got some Snoop Dogg, baby. It's the D-O-double-G as Big John.
Oh,
Couple badass vampire hunters. I guess they were supposed to be.
yeah.
We got some Eric Lang who plays their creator, kind of a goofy boss kind of guy, right? We got some Dave Franco who plays the little sidekick Seth. I don't think I've seen Dave Franco in anything in a while, so it's kind of all right to see him again or something. I guess.
I like Dave Franco.
Yeah, I like Dave Franco. But yeah, man. So there are these
That's a pretty good cast, though.
vampire hunter extraordinaires, man.
Yeah. Good cast, good premise.
Yeah, absolutely.
Has me interested.
Yeah, you would think so.
And I tell you what, the movie starts off pretty strong.
Oh, it does. Starts out really good.
I mean, they have like a really cool action sequence. I was like, I like where this movie's headed.
Yeah, oh yeah, man. You got your Cirque du Soleil vampires in it. They can,
Yeah, I really like how they can contort and like, you know, you can't see them in the mirror. There's some cool effects with all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And just cool action and
Yeah,
stuff.
you
Who
know,
doesn't
man.
want to see, you know, vampire hunters taking on some vampires?
Yeah, you know, they don't like garlic, and you know, so they threw all the actual, you know, original vampire lore into it. You know, so
Yeah.
yeah, man. But
And of course, this movie's directed by J.J. Perry. He's a former stuntman making his directorial debut, so you expect a lot of cool fight scenes from
Yeah, you would think so.
a stuntman.
well, and again, like I said in the beginning, it delivers. You know, that first fight scene with which when unfortunately, you know, that first fight scene you also see in the preview. So, but that was definitely probably the best fight scene in the movie.
Yeah, and that's the problem, I think,
Mm-hmm.
is like that scene I think might be the best action scene. I mean, the one with the brothers is pretty good, the Russian brothers or whatever they are.
Yeah, Scott Adkins, man. Well, there we go. Let's talk about Scott. I mean, Scott Adkins is like the best B-rate actor on the planet. You know, that guy. I don't know why the hell he's not in a lot more stuff, man. He's a phenomenal martial artist, great actor. You know, I always love seeing that guy in movies, man. You know,
When
always,
you
know,
see him, you know you're gonna have cool action sequences.
exactly, man. Love Scott Adkins,
Because
man.
that guy he can do some amazing kicks.
Oh yeah.
So
Yeah, he's a big dude. He's a strong guy, and he freaking you know, he brings it, man. That dude's on him. He's just a strong presence on the screen, man. Dude's just a strong presence on the screen. And yeah, I'm very surprised we haven't seen him in anything real big. You know, we had him in Ip Man 4 recently. You know, he's though he is going to be in John Wick 4, baby. So Scott Adkins is John Wick 4. So I'm looking forward to that. But yeah, man, you know, and that was maybe the other best fight scene, right? When him and his brother were in it, and they were in the house taking down those other vamps. But you know, other than that, man, the fights were kind of flat. You know, in this movie, I thought.
what'd you think about the acting?
The acting was okay. I mean, you know, of course, you got good actors. You know, we said that you got to get
Jamie Foxx, he's pretty good.
You know, Dave Franco
Oscar
does
winner.
good. I mean, even Snoop does okay for his, you know, his parts.
I mean, Snoop is Snoop to
exactly,
me, but you know.
exactly. But now, so the acting was fine. Now, the part that kills me about this movie, man, well, one of the parts that kill me about this movie, right? So you got these guys that are vampire hunters, you know, and they work for that vampire hunting organization, you know. And yet you got your desk jockeys and you got your guys around the field, right? But then they take Dave Franco, who's a desk jockey, take him out to the field.
Old Seth,
Right? And then he ends up becoming a vampire at some point and never knew how to fight in his life. But once he's a vampire, that dude's doing flip kicks and freaking kung fu and all kinds of shit. I'm like, this kid has pissed his pants twice in the movie already. And now all of a sudden he's a freaking badass martial artist when he's never fought a day in his life. I was like, please explain it to me. I guess when you get bit by a vampire, you also get all their memories and shit. And it's like you get plugged into the Matrix. You know?
well,
you
like you get
Matrix,
upgraded, man. You get upgraded.
Yeah, I guess so.
So yeah, that scene kind of took me out a little bit. I mean, because I was like, what is this? Now he's just awesome at everything.
Right, yeah, exactly.
So
Yeah, it's crazy, man.
I don't know. This movie is kind of inconsistent with some things. as
very
well.
inconsistent.
So because they break down the rules kind of associated with the vampires and like the different breeds or whatever you want to call them.
Yep.
There's like 5 different types.
Right. The main type's like the Uber, which is like the old school, you know, vampires who are the ones that are like the originals.
Probably like
vampires.
pure bloods or something
Exactly,
almost.
Yeah, exactly. You know, and of course the main villain in this, she is an Uber vampire. You know, and then some stuff happens with that. They tell you, you know, they like say the rules to kill vampires. Oh, if you cut off their head, they'll die. Unless they're an uber vampire, you know, then you still gotta like do some other crap to them to kill them too. And there's a lot of mistakes with that in this movie as well that just didn't make any damn sense. So.
Yeah, I mean, there's just like so much. Like they go to that laundromat place, and that like bothers me a little bit because it's a cover facility, but like, you know, it's just like any other movie, kind of like Men in Black. When they get in there, there's a ton of people, but it looks kind of like deserted initially. Like, where are all these people parking, Billy? Like, you don't know, it's like a parking lot full
like
with a bunch of people.
They got like underground parking garage, man. You know,
because it looks like a normal laundromat when he pulls up, but like you get in there's like 100 people, and I'm like, where's all the parking spots for them?
Oh yeah, man.
And wouldn't people notice that way more people are entering the laundromat than should be?
Yeah, exactly.
Not a very good cover.
Yeah, especially a lot of well-dressed people going into this little laundromat. You know, you got Seth going in there, his little, you know, nice suits, and some of those people going in there.
The other weird thing is like they have this guy who's like one of the bosses, and Snoop's character John has to convince him to take Bud back.
Yeah, Jamie Foxx.
But there's really no reason given. This guy is in charge, and he's convinced by Snoop to bring him back. But then he immediately tries to like get him fired or disbanded again.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
so,
you can tell he does not like Ralph, you know, the boss, does not like Jamie Foxx at all. He does not like Bud one bit.
But it doesn't really like. What's the relationship between Ralph and Snoop Dogg's John character? Because like John almost overrules him, convince him to take him back. Then why is he trying to get rid of him so quick at that point? Doesn't make a whole lot of sense to me.
Right, I guess, well, you know, because Snoop Dogg is evidently like the top dog hunter there. Everybody looks up to him, respects him. All the women love him. You definitely get to see that. But so he's kind of doing it as a solid to him, but at the same time, he's like, all right, fine, I'll do John this solid. But as soon as the guy screws up, I'm just going to kick him out anyway, right? And I guess kind of they just don't do a good job of explaining that, though. Really,
he needs $10,000 for like braces and school for his daughter.
Yeah, that was a horrible story.
Like it's so bad. It's like, why didn't he just give those teeth to Snoop Dogg to give him the cash or something like that, and could avoid all this stuff?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, there's the story was so weak in this movie, so weak, and you could just everything that happens in this movie, you could totally tell it was coming, and just very weak story. Like the writing was just not great in this movie.
Even though that first action scene was really cool, there were some scenes where the old lady was getting stabbed in the stomach, and it looked like a rubber suit on her or something like that. So the special effects are a little inconsistent sometimes.
No, they are. And this is probably a low budget movie. So I mean, you know, aside from the all-star cast, they probably wasted all their money on the cast, I guess. You know, but when I say all-star cast, really Jamie Foxx is the all-star. You know, but
maybe Snoop Dogg. Yeah, I mean, Dave Franco's okay, but he's a good get.
But you know, for me, I'd have spent all my money on Scott Adkins if that was him. You know.
Yeah, and this is kind of what Netflix does, right? They get these big names, and then they rush a movie. It's not well thought out. The story's kind of clunky, and this is no different. We saw this kind of with The Gray Man, and now this movie's doing.
Yeah, and we just watched Prey, you know, on Hulu, and that was a very well done movie, great movie, you know,
way better thought out than any of the stuff.
And then you look at this one, and it's like, man, come on, Netflix, you know. I mean, and Netflix has done some good stuff in the past, but for the most part, you know, they're not consistently good. You know, most of their stuff is they just throw some big names out there, or throw a weak story, and say, okay, cool, we got some big names and some action, so people are gonna like it. You know, and just it's not the case, man. It's just not the case anymore. You know, especially when you got movies out there now, like you know, we just did a review on Bullet Train. You're talking about one of the best action movies in a long time. That's it. You know, that is like the epitome of what an action movie should be, and how the writing should be. You know, at least even half that good would be nice. You know, we just don't see that kind of stuff anymore.
Yeah, I'm getting tired of them just phoning it in and going, well, it's a subscription-based thing. They'll watch it, whatever, you know?
Yeah, exactly. We just got to throw content at them, throw some big names at them, and they'll keep
keep it fresh.
They'll keep giving us money.
Keep giving them options. It seems like that's what it is. Yeah, as long as it's okay and serviceable, it's fine.
Yep, exactly.
But I'm getting tired with just okay.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, you and both, man. I would like to see Netflix throw out something great, you know, and just they ain't there, man.
The other weird thing is, like, you know, Bud lives, him and his wife are separated, and he lives in, like, kind of like a crap hole apartment. It looked like Daniel LaRusso's apartment. Did you notice that? Like, it looked like
totally
the Karate Kid 1. I'm like, what is this? Is this the same place?
Right, yeah, exactly.
I was like, except the pool's nicer.
That's right, they have a nice pool. When he had a porn star to live with him, too.
They're among us.
That's right. That's right.
Now, let's talk about that final action scene there. And that's like a weak way for the main vampire to go out. I was like, holy cow, that's it? I mean, that was the weakest fight in the whole movie with the main baddie.
By far.
So I was like,
Well, and then the scene where, you know, and I hate when they do this in movies, you know, Jamie Foxx is a human. He's not a vampire. And the vampire kicks him in his head, And instead of just Ned snapping back and breaking, which is what would really happen, or maybe his head would even come off with enough force the way she kicks him.
Because they can kick people like upstairs.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
Stuff.
Yeah. You know, his body does like 30 flips in the air and spins, and I'm like, you kicked him in the head. You didn't kick him in the gut. You know, you're not kick somebody in the head like that. It ain't gonna spin their body up in the air and spin them around 30 times.
The other weird thing is like Jamie Foxx Bud hasn't worked for this organization in 5 years, but as soon as like he's like, all right, I'll put you on day shift, he has a placard and everything else like ready to go. I'm like, you've been holding on to that for like 5 years.
That's right.
What in the world? I mean, these are small nitpicks,
He had
but
to pay his dues though, man.
but just shows you how poorly written this movie is.
Oh yeah. Horribly written movie, no doubt about it, man. And you know, and again, like we were talking about before, a lot of times they'll try to make up for it with action or whatever, but they really didn't in this one. You know, the action just didn't make up for the poor writing, I don't think. And you know, they're just.
I mean, the action's not bad. They have like a cool car chase scene, I guess. That reminds me of T2, where they're kind of like, I don't know.
Yeah.
What would you call that area where they're like down in the sewers but there's like a bunch of like jump ramps and all kinds of stuff.
Yeah, exactly.
But it did remind me of
he's doing it with his daughter in the car with him and everything.
Put on some headphones, you'll be good.
It was funny how her, you know, she was playing Mario Kart while he's doing it, and her Mario Kart's kind of going along with what's going on in the drive. I thought that was at least clever. That's probably the most clever thing this movie had.
Kart racer, which was cool. It was like mimicking what's going
on
in the real world.
That was probably the cleverest part of this movie was that right there, as far as writing goes, you know. But man, this movie was just missing it. Man.
How do you feel about the friendly vampire stuff going on in this?
Again, you know, I didn't.
That's the first like indicator it was going downhill to me, because like he's like all vampires are bad, blah blah blah, and then Dave Franco turns, and then all of a sudden things are different. Yeah,
and then the other chick got turned into a vampire too, but yet it's all good for her too, right? They can control their hunger, and they're not even trying to kill people. And I was like, nah, you're gonna do that, you better have some explaining to do. You know?
Yeah, and they do.
You
like
guys explaining to do. Tell us about that.
Old school James Bond thing where I'm gonna leave you here with this, but I'm not gonna like ensure you die or whatever. So
yeah, oh yeah.
I also didn't like the way his daughter and wife was talking to the main baddie and stuff. Like,
dude. I
was like, this is stupid. She should have just smacked her across the face or did something like super violent, and then they would have learned, right?
Well, the funny thing is, you know, in the main, that's the thing too, right? The main vampire keeps saying what she's going to do. I'm going to do this to them. I'm going to do that to them. But she never does. It's like, just do it then. If you're going to do this to your kid, then just do it. Quit talking about it and just do it. You know? Yeah. So I mean, the way that all played out was just stupid. You know,
I mean, there are some cool elements to this. I really like the vampires when they smell the blood. They get kind of crazy and like their eyes change and demeanor and all that. And that was well done.
Yeah, that was well done.
And when they die, they release a gas. You got to wash it off because they'll be able to track you down. So that's kind of cool.
Yeah, no, I did appreciate that aspect. You know, just don't get in your butt crack.
Yeah, apparently.
In your butthole.
and like I said, there are two really good action scenes, and it starts off strong, but it just can't maintain it. Man. Just can't maintain it.
No, I think we should have had some more, you know, the Nazarian brothers in it, man. You know, they're in that one good scene, you know. And
I was hoping they'd kind of come in at the end, but they don't.
No.
And this chick, they don't. It's like they kind of show you how cool she is because she has like super speed, but I don't know. What'd you think about the main villain?
You definitely did not get enough badass vampire out of her, right? There's so much more they could have done with her to show just how strong and cool she really is, and they just. Again, really, it was just like super speed, and then she could kick people's butts, you know?
They really never showed any vampire do anything cool. I mean, one scene, they torture someone, but, like, they really should have showed how dangerous the vampires are. Like, maybe they kill some innocent people at some point or do something, but they don't ever show that.
No, come on, because this one, you've got, I mean, humans, regular people hunting down and killing vampires like it's nothing, man. They cleared a whole freaking house of, like, 40 vamps, you know, just 3 guys. You know, so it's like, or 4 guys, I guess, if you want to count Dave Franco's. Even though he didn't do much in that fight scene. But, yeah, like 4 dudes cleared a house of like 40 vamps. And I was like, come on now.
So you don't really feel like anyone's in too much jeopardy at any point.
Well, because then when they are in jeopardy, they just come back to life. You get head cut off, he comes back to life, put his head back on, he's good to go. You know?
And that's what's kind of the tone is a little too goofy. Like, so you never really feel like there's any stakes involved with this whatsoever.
Not even, especially when the wife and kid you kidnapped, you know, there's just no feel that they're actually in any danger. You know, throughout the whole time again. So
I was kind of hoping
the vampire just talks.
Yeah, I was kind of hoping they would like do something drastic to set up like another one. Like maybe like his kid does die, and they're like, oh, this like scars him. Now he changes even for the second movie or something like that. But no, they do the typical thing that most of these movies do, and nothing surprising really at all with this movie.
It reminds me like a Spy Kids type movie or something. You know, really when you think about it,
it is kind of watered down like that.
Oh yeah,
yeah. So I get what you're saying.
Yeah.
So
yeah, just
what do you rate it?
I'm giving 5, man.
A 5?
I'm giving 5, dude. It's not a good movie. I mean, Even the, like I said, even the action just didn't do it for me. Like I was pretty much after the, like I said, after the first scene when it was all cool and stuff, and it started dying down. I was ready for it to end. I was like, all right, I've had enough of this movie. I'm done with it. Like even the little throwback to, at the end they do a little throwback to Lost Boys where Snoop comes up out of the tunnel and he's like, one thing I love about L.A. all the damn vampires. And even when he comes out of the tunnel, as soon as he says one thing I love about L.A., he pauses, but you know what he's gonna say right after that. And I just, I don't know, man. I was not impressed with this movie.
I had higher hopes for this,
So did I.
and it disappointed me a little bit. And it could have been saved by having a strong ending, but it's one of the worst parts about this, so it kind of leaves you on a downer. So I'm going to give this a 6 out of 10. It's very, very mediocre.
Oh, yeah, it's not, I mean, I would not watch it again. I won't watch this movie again.
No, yeah, I wouldn't watch it again. I mean, I'm not mad I watched it the first time, but Netflix, got to step it up.
Absolutely. Yeah,
Got to finish strong, too, on these
especially when you're trying to throw big names at us, man. It's like throw big names and a big movie at us.
And Prey has taught us you don't really need a big name.
Exactly.
You just need a good story.
Exactly.
And good action and everything.
Bullet Train taught us that you can throw both in there and then you got one hell of a movie.
Exactly. So.
And this one ain't it, though, unfortunately. So, well, folks, there you have it. Our take on Prey and
Prey. Jeez.
on Day Shift, and unfortunately, just let us down. And I'm sure it's gonna let you down too. But please, check it out if you want. I mean, I'm not gonna say, hey, you should check this movie out because I mean, I didn't think it was that great. But check it out if you want. And please, hit like and subscribe, and we appreciate you guys, and let us know what you thought about it. Until then, we will check you at our next review.
See you guys. No blade.
Snoopity Snoop.
No
Hell,
blade.
I ain't nowhere close to blade, man. What the snipe's going on here? Where the vampires can walk out of the sun now is because they created the sunscreen.
Hey, they got some sunblock on.
some
I
vampire
can't even
sunblock.
Put sunblock on myself without getting burned.
Yeah, these vampires are going. Come on, man.
I can't believe they did the little silver string at the end.
Oh yeah, dude, that was horrible.
I cannot believe they're like, well, we're smart because we told you in the beginning.
That's right.
I'm like, oh no, this is not how you're taking this chick
Yeah.
out. This is directed by a stuntman, and this is what he does for the
Oh
finale.
yeah, man. Yeah.
We got the Dave Franco, the Jamie Foxx. You ready? You ready for some vampire
Bucky Blonsky, man.
action?
Eric Lane.